Welcome back to the channel. This is Crypto Wealth, and today we're going to be talking about some cryptocurrency, Bitcoin related news. There's some incredibly bullish news out there right now, and I think this is important because right now there's so many headlines talking about, ooh, Bitcoin dropped by $1,000. I woke up this morning and I saw those headlines everywhere, and I thought, who cares? I mean, my goodness, like 2017, 2018, we were used to seeing 10%, 50%, even 20% drops in a single day, and even 10, 15, 20% spikes in a day with cryptocurrency, particularly with Bitcoin. So to see $1,000 move, 5, 6, 7%, ooh, who cares? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you're here right now, you believe in the future of cryptocurrency, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell notification icon, select all, join the Crypto Wealth crew. Let's get started. All right, I want to talk about some news stories that are taking place. These are all fresh news stories, and this is all of these stories, except one, are really bullish when it comes to cryptocurrency, and I'll discuss that one in a minute. And I mean epically bullish, not just a little bullish. These are crazy, crazy bullish news stories. First one here. Billionaire Ray Dalio reviewed Bitcoin, praised China, and explained his thoughts on the outlook for financial markets in a Reddit session. Here are his 10 best quotes. So he did kind of a Reddit session, probably more like a Ask Me Anything type of session on Reddit. And these are some of the quotes from this. Most of these quotes have deal directly with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, or they deal with a use case. Now, if you don't know who Ray Dalio is, I need you to understand this. He's someone you should pay attention to in this space. He does not love Bitcoin. He's been one of the skeptics of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency for a long time. But he's a really smart macro investor. And what that means is he looks at the entire world's economy and, in an unbiased way, attempts to just look at the data and makes his predictions. He runs a very large hedge fund. He makes his predictions on what he believes is going to happen, and he's written books, and he's well known for some accuracy in his commentary and what he has to say. And he basically literally bets with his own money, or at least the hedge fund that he manages. I think it's Bridgewater and Associates is the name of the hedge fund. So the guy is in the know. He's incredibly smart, and I always pay attention to what he says. I don't always agree with it. He and I disagree on Bitcoin, but I definitely pay attention to it. So investor Ray Dalio hosted a plain-spoken Reddit session on Tuesday at which users had the chance to ask him anything from his outlook for financial markets to the potential of Bitcoin. The billionaire also discussed China's leadership emphasis, the importance of diversification in portfolio, and how a flood of money is lifting asset prices. Here are the 10 best quotes from Dalio's Ask Me Anything session. Yep, I had it said it right. Ask Me Anything. Now, there's about, just so you know, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 news stories that we're going to cover, 4 other news stories that we're going to cover as well, plus 1 negative one, so I guess that's 5. So we'll get into this. Hedge fund manager Ray Dalio hosted a Reddit Ask Me Anything session on December 8th in response to Redditors' questions. Let's come down. Here's what he had to say, his best quotes. I think that Bitcoin and some other digital currencies have, over the last 10 years, established themselves as interesting gold-like asset alternatives with similarities and differences to gold and other limited supply, mobile, unlike real estate, storeholds of wealth. Storeholds of wealth. Now, this is interesting because I did a video about Ray Dalio, and I actually started a series. I didn't finish the series because, quite honestly, nobody was paying attention to it, which is unfortunate because I think that he fundamentally, it's important to see what he's saying. And in that series, this was last year that I was working on. He agreed that what was going on in the economies around the world, gold prices were going to go up, but he did not see Bitcoin as a store of value. And ladies and gentlemen, over 2 years ago on my channel, when I was talking about Bitcoin going to $1 million, and I have a whole series, a whole playlist on my channel about that. When I said that back then, one of the things that I said, oh, look at that, we're vacationing down here in Orlando. There's an ad following me. When I said that back then, I said a couple things. I said Bitcoin basically is better than gold for a lot of reasons. And I also said that central banks were going to start wanting to hold Bitcoin back then. And when I said it back then, I got criticized in the comment section because people thought it was crazy. They thought it was absolutely crazy. But I've been on this train and this thought process for a very long time. And many of you that are already part of the Crypto Wealth crew, my subscribers, you know that. By the way, if you're not a subscriber yet, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. And if you believe in what the future of cryptocurrency, hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hopefully I'll do enough they'll be able to earn your subscribe. So let's keep going. As far Bitcoin relative to gold, I have a strong preference for holding those things which central banks are going to want to hold and exchange value in when they are trying to transact. Ladies and gentlemen, right here, that's exactly what I was just talking about. He's saying basically Bitcoin, central banks are going to want to hold Bitcoin and gold, and therefore he's going to want to hold them. The biggest reason is, listen, there's central banks are the single largest buyers of any asset should they choose to buy it. No one has more money than in the U.S. than the bank who basically can create a money supply. I mean, when you can create a money supply to buy assets, then I mean there's no end to the amount that you can buy. You want to own the asset that the central banks are trying to buy up, particularly when it's an asset that is limited in quantity, like gold, like Bitcoin. Those of you here that are here first, you're the smart one. You're smarter than the central banks. Those of you that you see gold, Bitcoin goes up and you see it as an opportunity to buy as opposed to sell because you're fearful. You're the smart one, in my opinion, not financial advice. Dollar cost averaging is prudent. It works. It works. The Chinese leadership is extremely knowledgeable. Down here on number 3. The Chinese leadership is extremely knowledgeable in lessons of its history and how things work. What I would convey to you and my fellow Americans is that they have a lot of internal disagreement and processes for dealing with it well. The government, so it does exist. Whether or not it is more productive to have the entire population in those discussions is a matter of opinion. Not sure what he was referring to there. It is very Number 4. It is a very civilized society that is doing extraordinarily well and is not consistent with the stereotypes that one might believe are true. It is by no means perfect, nor is it any other country, and should be open-mindedly assessed based on evidence rather than emotionally react against based on derogatory characterizations on what people think, on what people that ignore China are missing. So basically, he's saying what people are missing when they don't pay attention to China. Now, I'm not pro-Chinese or anything, but here's what I will say. I do pay attention to what China is doing in their policies on central banking. I do pay attention to what their policies are related to Bitcoin. If they have a pro stance on Bitcoin, that's positive. Interestingly enough, China seems to be kind of negative on Bitcoin for its citizens at this point, but they are doing plenty of things. State-owned companies are running the mining network. So arguably China has a tremendous amount of Bitcoin mining power. There's a reason they want to have that Bitcoin mining power. There's a reason they want to mine those Bitcoins. And so for me, that's extremely, extremely bullish. We're in number 5. We are in a flood of money and credit that is lifting most asset prices and distributing wealth in a way that the system that we've come to believe in is normal, is unable to, and that is we've come to believe is normal, is unable to, and that is threatening to the value of our money and credit. Okay, because we're basically what we're saying is because we're in a situation where governments are printing money at record amounts, record amounts, then what happens is it raises asset prices. So it distributes wealth unevenly, by the way, to the richest people in the world, the ones who own the most assets. So if you own real estate, your prices are going to go up. If you own gold, your prices are going to go up. If you own certain businesses, your prices are going to go up. If you own cryptocurrency, the prices of that cryptocurrency will go up. Now, people like to say things like, yeah, but it doesn't matter because it's deflated away. Yes, but you're forgetting that it's a store of value. Your Bitcoin, as long as Bitcoin continues to be viable, your Bitcoin is essentially a magnet for those inflated dollars. By selling Bitcoin because you're like, oh, I want to take profits, or selling Bitcoin because you want to pay off the mortgage, or selling Bitcoin because you want to pay down on your car note or whatever, that's fine. You have a right to do that, and maybe you should do that in certain cases. However, there will come a time when that one Bitcoin, it's like the pizza situation. Do you know the first noted transaction was someone purchased a pizza with 50 Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin back then was worth 50 cents. Now Bitcoin's worth almost $20,000. People are like, wow, I can buy a car with that, or I can pay down my car note on that. Yeah, you can. But one day that Bitcoin might buy a bank, and you're gonna think, what? I sold it for 20,000. Today it's $1 million. So, and people love to say when I talk about Bitcoin going to $1 million, and I talk about Bitcoin preserving its buying power, getting to $1 million in today's buying power. So if it's hyperinflated, it would be worth much more than $1 million. But when I say that, people are like, oh, it's gonna be inflated. It doesn't matter. It does matter. because inflated dollars still have a value. And the people who own the most assets end up being a magnet. They win the inflation game. Inflation does not hurt everybody. Those living paycheck to paycheck, if you've not figured out how to create a passive income with cryptocurrency, you need to go down and subscribe to our Crypto Passive Profits course. That course is about learning passive income, or better yet, don't even subscribe to the course. Go watch my $100 per day journey. The whole goal in that journey is to be able to earn Bitcoin, $100 worth of Bitcoin today, to earn $100 worth of Bitcoin passively. And to be able to, that's better than dollar cost averaging. You're earning every single day. So that's my whole goal with that playlist. And you should watch that playlist because the people who are selling their cryptocurrency to pay their bills, or they're selling it for small gains or short gains, they're missing the point. If Ray Dalio is correct, and I believe that he is right here, then that means those of us holding cryptocurrency as an asset, or holding real estate for that matter, or any other inflation adjusted asset, meaning that when inflation happens, these assets all go up in value. When those of us that are holding the most of those assets are going to win, and it is your best shot, in my opinion, to be able to slowly accumulate these assets. Now, it's far easier to buy a fraction of Bitcoin. You can use a CryptoTab browser and do that. It's far easier to earn or to get a fraction of Bitcoin than it is to go out and buy a house per se. And those hard assets are going to go up in value when inflation continues to increase. Number 6, it is important to diversify well in terms of currencies and countries, as well as asset classes. Internally, this is taking place in a politically and socially threatening environment, which will affect taxes, spending, and how we are with each other. Externally, there will be a greater competition, particularly by China, of course. This is again, and that competition applies to cryptocurrency as well. I believe that we're going to see a cryptocurrency Cold War at some point. Number 7, I think that between now and the midterm elections of 2022, and between then and the next presidential election in 2024, so we're talking about 3 to 4 years out here, we will face critical choices, both domestically and internationally, that will define the likelihood of having an internal and or external existential conflict on the evolution of U.S. leadership. Number 8, I worry that we are our own worst enemies and that we collectively aren't willing to make the revolutionary changes that are needed to be on the best path for dealing with our circumstances. However, it is certainly possible that we can get on that path on the superpower status of the U.S. I agree with that. One is being we can't be behind. We as the government cannot fall behind on cryptocurrency. That is I fully believe that. As a government, our government in the U.S. is what I should say, cannot create policies that put us behind on cryptocurrency, but we'll see what they do. My fear, which is turning into a reality, is those countries that are working the hardest are also increasingly finding ways to work the smartest, which is hurting the competitiveness of those who are working less hours less efficiently on the future of jobs in the workplace culture. That's good. I think right here, smart contracts actually play a part in here. I know he's not talking about cryptocurrency, but there's no financial markets in general are far more efficient in the crypto realm. That's the whole purpose of cryptocurrency from actual use case in the financial markets. It's extremely efficient. And when you throw smart contracts and decentralized finance in there, I think this applies here. Number 10, what is more important? What is most important is inventiveness, the capacity to get much more out of an hour's work. Incredible. This goes with number 9. All right, that's Ray Dalio. Let me know what your thoughts are on Ray Dalio. Let's keep going right now. This is a good one. JP Morgan says gold will suffer for years because of Bitcoin. I'm not going to go through this whole thing here. We'll just read the first couple of paragraphs. The rise of cryptocurrencies in mainstream finance is coming at the expense of gold, says JP Morgan. Money is poured into Bitcoin funds and out of gold since October, a trend that's only going to continue in the long run as more institutional investors take a position in cryptocurrency, according to the bank's quantitative strategists, including Nicholas whoever. Okay. JP Morgan is one of the few Wall Street banks that's predicting a major shift in gold and crypto markets as digital currencies become increasingly popular as an asset class. Ladies and gentlemen, the thing about gold investors is they're steady, they're long term, they're holding gold. This isn't an emotional decision. No one, for the most part, I mean, for futures, I guess, maybe, but most people aren't trading in and out of gold, except on the futures market. Most people are buying gold to hold it. Most investment funds are buying gold to hold it as a hedge. It's an insurance fund, essentially. Almost every major successful hedge fund owns a small position in gold in most cases, or some sort of precious metals. So I say that to say that when the gold buyers and the gold investors start moving to Bitcoin, That is extraordinarily bearish. Many of you, just like me, a year ago, 2 years ago, you were telling people gold's the next Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the next gold. You told people that, and they laughed at you. They didn't get it. And some of them were smarter than you. Some of them might have been people in your family, friends, coworkers. They didn't get it. You're being proven right. You need to understand that you were right all along. You were absolutely right. The fundamentals matter, ladies and gentlemen. And so those people that are afraid because Bitcoin dropped by $1,000, I don't care if Bitcoin drops by $5,000. I'm still in the accumulation phase. I want more. Listen, if Bitcoin goes up, I do well. No question about it. I do very well. However, if Bitcoin will wait a year or two before it explodes, I'm going to be doing many multiples better. Do you understand? And let me know, are you in the accumulation phase right now? If you are, put it down in the comments. Because if you're in the accumulation phase, I mean, outside of the emotional impact, if Bitcoin was to drop by 90%, you wouldn't care because you're just trying to accumulate as much as you can. Many of my passive income streams that I have, that I do, many of you who follow my channel, you know that I focus on earning crypto passively. Many of my passive income streams, they pay better when the price of Bitcoin is low because some of them basically, like same thing with a BitFury, for example, chips, coin supply, some of those, they free Bitcoin, they all pay, they're basically paying Bitcoin out, but they're paying you a USD value. So they keep track of the earnings on the website in USD, they just pay out in Bitcoin, which means when the price of Bitcoin drops, you're earning more Bitcoin on those passive assets. And that's what I'm trying to do, earn a lot more Bitcoin. All right, let's keep going. Next up, Bitwise crypto index fund becomes available to U.S. investors. See, this is incredible. So this is one of the first that I've seen, maybe the second, talk about a crypto index fund becoming available to U.S. investors. Now, why is this incredible? Because cryptocurrency is already beating this. This crypto index fund thing, I mean, this is old legacy finance trying to catch up, and they're going to fail. This is the big bankers trying to take their cut out of middle America or middle class citizens who don't know any better, and they hear about crypto and they don't know how to do it, they don't know how to buy it, so they just go invest into a fund. In part, this is co-opting the industry. This is kind of fighting back against sending money to basically directly to Bitcoin in a way, at least for the average investor, and this is keeping the big banks in control. But they're already behind. This has already been solved by Base Protocol. Those of you that are familiar with Base Protocol, I've talked about it extensively on this channel, extensively. Base Protocol is essentially tracking the cryptocurrency market index. In fact, it does better. It doesn't just track the index. It doesn't have a target, and I'm not going to explain what Base is. You can go watch that playlist on my channel. But Base in and of itself doesn't just track the playlist, the price of Bitcoin. It also tracks market participation. Because as more people come in, that's what causes the price to go up. And so, yes, your holdings, you're going to do well by holding Base, not financial advice, but you'll do well holding Base if the total market cap of cryptocurrency, the cryptocurrency market capitalization, if the entire value of the crypto market goes up, you're going to earn. But with Base, you also earn because eventually more people are going to come in. And when more people comes in, I don't want to explain the mechanics, but basically you get a double whammy. You continue to earn. Now, if you believe in cryptocurrency, then there's no reason not to own a portion of your portfolio in Base. A lot of people have been speculating on it right now, but this project is very, very, very interesting. And it's already accomplished, or working to accomplish, what Bitwise is trying to do, except Base is going to be more efficient, and it's going to allow the average investor to hold more of their money, and it 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 doesn't just allow the increase of price. That's the key. It also allows you to participate in the growth of market participation by more people coming into the market. All right, next up, let's talk about MicroStrategy plans. 400 million raised, and we got this one, and then I got one more. Then I got the negative news story. So MicroStrategy plans 400 million raised. But ladies and gentlemen, are you noticing that this is all fundamentals? Fundamentals matter. This is all extremely, extremely bullish news. Like, goodness, who cares what the price of Bitcoin does when the fundamentals are so bullish? MicroStrategy plans 400 million raised. I almost wish they would not be so bullish. 400 million raised net proceeds will fund more Bitcoin buys. Okay, so basically, MicroStrategy said Monday it plans to sell up to 400 million in convertible senior notes. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, there's a truck or something about. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm actually in Orlando, sitting on this balcony overlooking a golf course at the Reunion Resort. You should look up reunionresort.com. This place is incredible. Let me just there's like a guy coming by on like some sort of a lawnmower thing. So bear with me. But the sun's beating down this morning in Orlando, and all right, let's go by. That was actually a big blower attached to like one of those mule things blowing off the sidewalk. Anyway, the sun's beating down in Orlando. I'm sitting out on this balcony at the Reunion Resort. You gotta check it out, reunionresort.com. We're in this 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom unit out here. It's incredible, overlooking the golf course. The rays are beating down. As soon as I finish up this video, while I'm editing it, I'm gonna light up a cigar and enjoy a good cup of coffee. But let's get back into the story. So MicroStrategy said Monday plans to sell up to 400. It plans to sell up to 400 million in a convertible senior note offering that it will likely fund yet more Bitcoin allocations. Now think about that. They're basically financing more Bitcoin buys. This is incredible. It's not what you and I should do, but that's basically what they're doing. The business intelligence company said in a press release it will invest the net proceeds from the sale in Bitcoin in accordance with its treasury reserve after first making way for business expenses. Only qualified institutional buyers will be permitted to buy the interest-bearing notes, which mature in 5 years. MicroStrategy can convert the notes into cash, Class A shares, or a combination of the two starting in December 2023. Last week, Chief Marketing Officer Seiler expanded MicroStrategy's Bitcoin Treasury Reserve to 40,000 Bitcoin. Now, there's something real important here I want you to understand. A, they're buying Bitcoin. You and me get to participate in the Bitcoin market right now because government hasn't regulated it to the point that the average citizen can't. But if you wanted to buy their notes, which are antiquated, and I wouldn't recommend personally, not financial advice, just my opinion, you can't do it. You can't buy these if you wanted to. They're selling them on the open market, but you can't buy them. It's only for qualified institutional buyers, the big boys, big finance. You can't touch it. Hands off. And see, my only concern with cryptocurrency is that at some point they're going to try to push the little guy out, kind of like China's doing. They're going to try to push the little guy out, make custodial wallets. Non-custodial wallets illegal, not allow you to hold on to your own crypto, or potentially make it illegal to buy. I hope that doesn't happen. But the thing about Bitcoin is you and me, we get to take control of our finances in a way. And literally, think about that. The highest, fastest growing asset class over the past decade wasn't available for just the big bankers. In fact, they almost didn't participate in it at all. But the average person on the street, you and me, get to participate in it. I had lunch with a financial guy yesterday, and he was talking about, I said, he was talking about crypto. He said, he knows I'm in crypto. He said, talk to me about this. He's like, what do you like about crypto? And I said, the financial opportunities that exist for the average person. I said, and unfortunately, it's jaded people in crypto. I'm into passive income streams in crypto. I said, so I'm all about earning passive Bitcoin, passive Ethereum, passive Tron, whatever. I said, and unfortunately, in cryptocurrency, you can earn 0.3%, 0.2%, 0.1% a day, 10% a month, 5% a month, 20% a month. I said, but the problem with cryptocurrency is people think the mentality in crypto is a younger audience, and they think, which is good, but they sometimes think that if you're not making 1% a day, it's nothing. And he laughed, and he's like, what? In traditional markets, 6% a year. Guys would love to be able to know they could get a guaranteed 6% a year. I said, oh yeah, there's nothing in crypto that shouldn't pay more than 6%. Practically everything, almost everything that's passive is going to pay 6% or better. It's easy to find more than 6%. But that's the power of this technology, the power of these financial markets. The average person can take advantage of it. The average person, you don't need some, at this moment, you don't need some sort of government approval to say you're a qualified investor, you're a qualified institutional investor. No, you can still participate in it, which is extraordinary. All right. Next up, City Analyst chides Saylor's Bitcoin focus cuts MicroStrategy to sell. This is the negative news story, and then we're going to be wrapping it up. I got a story I was going to share with you, but I'll save that for another video about that gentleman I had lunch with. I'll save it for another video. City Analyst chides Saylor's Bitcoin focus cuts MicroStrategy to sell. So it's a different City Analyst. We all know that Citigroup, one of their analysts says that Bitcoin's going to 300,000 by December of 2021. However, this guy is saying, this person is saying, MicroStrategy is over-focused on Bitcoin. They're over-focused on Bitcoin, which is insane. But this is old money trying to defend their position. And quite honestly, I welcome negative news stories. I told you all the positive news stories because my channel's for you, the enthusiast, the investor, the student of cryptocurrency. I want my channel to be a resource you can go to, pay attention to, maybe take something from and go do your own research. Nothing I say is considered investment advice, but I want to give you a viewpoint of objectivity and rationality when it comes to cryptocurrency. Okay, maybe I'm not that objective because I I'm so bullish on the long-term effects of Bitcoin. And that's what I told my lunch meeting yesterday. That's what I told that gentleman. I said, listen, I said, the fundamentals are there. Everything you believe, because he believes a lot like Ray Dalio, everything that you believe about the future of inflation and what the U.S. government is doing right now and what most people aren't recognizing and how it's going to screw the average citizen, you can't give me a vehicle that can solve that problem. But I can. That vehicle is cryptocurrency. And he's like, hey man, I've listened to you. I got me a crypto.com account. He's even told me he got the Jade card. I was like, oh, look at you. Look at you. So people are paying attention. People are waking up. But I'm okay if people sell. I'm okay if the price of Bitcoin drops. I mean, truly, let it drop. I mean, I want to buy more, buy more. I would prefer to see I would prefer to see a bear market where it continues to drop in value slowly versus a big drop because that would just be an emotional drop. I really want to see it drop slowly and consolidate at some level. Let it consolidate at 10,000, 5,000. Honestly, the lower the better because I think the fundamentals and the technology long term is going to go up. So the more we can buy for cheap, I see cryptocurrency on sale. So the more we can buy for cheap, the better off that we are, ladies and gentlemen, the better off that we are. And this has been my thoughts on cryptocurrency. Let me know what your thoughts are. Smash that subscribe button, hit that like button. Hopefully I've done enough to earn your subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. On the end of this video, I'm going to put my playlist for earning $100 a day. Feel free to watch that if you want to just start learning, what are some ways, what are some unique investment strategies? What is something you can do that's a little bit different outside of the box where you literally can earn 0.3%, 0.5% a day? What's something that you can do in passive cryptocurrency? Watch that playlist at the end of the video. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Ladies and gentlemen, decentralized cryptocurrency equals freedom. This is Crypto Wealth. I'm out.